Hey there, long time no talk. It's Kim coming back to you with a new video. I know it's been several months since I last posted, and one of the videos I posted this past summer had to do with some empties. And I think those are what I had from the beginning of the year, beginning of 2025 through June. And so since that June video, I have been kind of hoarding a lot of my empties to be able to do a future recording to kind of show what I ended up using up for the rest of 2025 and being able to, decide if these are items I'd want to buy again, keep them in my collection, not buy them because I either didn't like how they performed or, they were great, but not worth me spending my money on. I know in 2026, like many people, I am working to, which has always been a goal of mine, just not a goal, but it's always been an expectation for me to use what I have, enjoy what I have, make the most out of what I have. But I really feel like for this year is just the continued simplification and more strategic purchasing, not running out to do blind buying or whenever a new release comes out, not being in a rush to get it or honestly even be in a rush to smell it. I know towards the end of last year, there were a lot of new releases that, I tried, I smelled, and they're all right, but not a lot of them came home with me. So I can go over that in a future video. But for today's video and the series of videos to follow, I will be going over a lot of my empties. And just again, just nice casual chat and just kind of tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, what I'd buy again, what I wouldn't buy again, or if I'd buy in a different size. So anyway, we'll get started. So for the series that I was going to end up doing, because I have, like I said, empties from this past summer, I've got fragrance empties that I'll talk about today. But then I also have my body care empties, hair care empties, skin care empties, hand care empties, and then just some other items that, they weren't going to get to the empties pile because I either have had them too long, didn't like them, didn't like how they performed, and honestly, I can't make myself suffer through using them. So if you're interested in those, stay tuned to the channel and you'll see those as well. But we'll go ahead and get started with the fragrance care or with the fragrance empties. Okay, so first up, for 3 of the empties that I have, they are all from Kayali. They're the 1.7 ounce sizes, and they are vanilla 28, Eden Juicy Apple 01, and the Wedding Silk Santal 36. A lot of these, I will say, I already have the 3.4 ounce sizes of both of these already. I had actually ended up getting some backup sizes of these. I do like them. And I also have a backup bottle of the Wedding Silk Santal, which I should say, I love this one as well. But I will say a couple things in regards to, for vanilla 28, I do like this scent. Like I said, I do have the bigger bottle of this. And one thing I know with the Kayali scents, there's always the debate on whether they're long lasting or not. And I think they are when you layer and overspray. But I know on the Sephora website most recently, those fragrances for Kayali have had a price increase, which has many of us feeling a certain way. And so I would say there are dupes to the Kayali fragrances that, if it's something that you want to explore, feel free to do so at a lower price point. But I will say there is one other fragrance company in here that I highly will recommend that I would like to try again and buy from them directly. If I decided that, I run out of the larger sizes of these and I either decide that, I want them, but maybe at a lower price point. But I would say Eden Juicy Apple is very sweet, candy-ish with a little bit of floral. But this one, I would say when I run out of the larger size bottle, I will probably take a break from buying this one. I wouldn't have a backup bottle of this one. I do have like a DKNY. It's the apple one, but I think it's like the pink blossom. I'm kind of looking over here. I think I have one of my bins over here. I would probably almost try that for a little bit before I go back to buying the Eden Juicy Apple. Vanilla 28. I would end up, I'd probably always maybe at minimum keep a version of this in my collection because I do like it. It is a basic, it's not a super sweet vanilla, but it is nice just to either be able to layer or, you know, just wear it on its own, because I've tried some of the one other dupe that's from Mimic of the Vanilla 28, and that one was way too patchouli forward for me and I didn't like it. And I have not tried any decants of any of the other dupes that are on the market for Vanilla 28. And so in this case, I'll probably stick to what I know, but I'm not in a rush to go out and repurchase this one. So if I feel it's necessary, or if I don't find another substitute that's at a different price point in the future, then I'd probably get this. But again, obviously not in a rush to do that. And then for the Kayali Wedding Silk Santal. So when this was re-released, I want to say last year towards, I want to say like May or so, or mid 2025, after much demand from a lot of the fans of the fragrance when I think it was first released, maybe 2021, 2022. Since it's been re-released, even prior to that re-release, so many other brands came out with the dupes of this version. And so I will say I have the Paris Corner, I think it's the Couture version of this one. And so I would say, would I buy this again? I will use up the backup bottle that I have. Then I will continue to use the already open bottle of the Couture that's open. I like the dupe version. It works out great. And additionally, I know EOS, they have kind of the similarly scented body wash and lotion for this. So I would say between those two items, the dupe from Paris Corner and also Brown Sugar Babe makes the perfume oil and the body oil that, you know, either you could spend, you know, what this probably costs now. I think it's over $100. So you could either go the dupe route and the body care route and pay the same amount for those items combined that you would pay for this one, or you get this one. This one does last. Again, if you overspray, I would say you do get that lasting scent. If you do like 3-4 sprays, I don't think you're going to get your money's worth on this, honestly. So I would say keep that in mind. But the other brand I had mentioned earlier, which is also another empty, and I've done a video on this one previously, was the Kayali, the Wedding Silk Santal dupe from European Perfumes. This is what I ended up getting before, when the Wedding Silk Santal wasn't on the market. Everyone was looking. You had a lot of the resale sites selling it for like an ungodly amount. And so someone in one of the Facebook fragrance groups had brought up that, you know, European Perfumes sold this. And I ended up getting this off eBay at the time, but then going back and seeing that they do have their own website on European Perfumes. And so they make a ton of different dupe fragrances. I think they're based in Michigan, and you can pick for the fragrances that they dupe, you can choose like the strength. So if you want something just like the regular strength, if you want, I think 2 times, even 3 times the strength of the fragrance, if you love it that much and based upon how much projection you want, you can do that. And so I would almost recommend, my route that I would probably go in the future is, again, if I want to stay in the dupe route, either the Paris Corner version of Silk Santal that I mentioned earlier, or just going straight to European Perfumes. I will say this combo, it's a little more oily, so I think it works on your skin, but you have to be careful on your clothes to make sure you don't stain anything. But I would say, again, for 2026, still trying to minimize, trying to save money, spend as little as possible. If I truly wanted to go ahead and I was, you know, sticking to a strict budget, but I had to feel the craving for a new scent or a replacement scent and not wanting to necessarily go to Kayali, I would go to European Perfumes as a backup. I do recommend that one because you can also get on there the matching, you can get like body creams. I think they have shower gels. You can do the whole collection. And so I recommend that. And this, oh man, this still smells so good to me. I think I like it more. Like I said, I enjoyed this, I think, a little more than the OG version. But this is an empty. I would support European fragrances or perfumes again, and probably, yeah, look for some of the smaller sizes on there if, again, I decide that there's some new things I want to try, but I don't want to pay full price for the brand version. All right, and then I also had, I guess, yeah, I did have one more Kayali one. So this is the mini version, and there is still a little bit left in here. It is of the Utopia Vanilla Cocoa, what is that, 21. This one was okay. I sometimes go back and forth with the coconut scents. Sometimes I love them. Sometimes I kind of feel meh about them. But usually like late spring, early summer, I do tend to enjoy them more than so through the rest of the year. But this is one I bought with me when I went out of town. And I don't know if it was a pressure in the cabin on the plane because I bring my luggage. I do a carry-on when I travel. And so I brought the smallest one with me, put it inside my bag. And when I got home to unpack, I noticed that if you see up here, yeah, whatever pressure made this pop, and you can even see like the little plastic lining here kind of popped out. And so with the air exposed to it, it darkened it a lot more for the juice, probably evaporated more of the alcohol that was in there. But for this one, I would, again, if I were to buy this again, like I said, love-like relationship with coconut scents, I would probably just stick with this size and be happy with it. That's the thing with fragrances. You don't always have to buy the biggest bottle. You can just start out with the 10 ml. Go with that. See how you like it. See how it performs. I know some people feel that if you are just, if you're going to spend the money, just get the full bottle. But if you're like me, and sometimes, like I said, you wax and wane between fragrances that you love versus that you tolerate, I guess, there's nothing wrong with this. If you like it, wear it out, empty it, buy another one, because these are still, they're not probably the cheapest either. I haven't looked to see how the price increase on Sephora, if, this size has gone up as well. I assume it has. But I mean, these are probably going well over $30 now. So I would say, if it's not something you're going to wear super often, start with the smallest one. And if you like to switch things up, just start there. And I mean, I know for me personally, my collection is large enough to where I have full size, I have travel size, and sometimes I've been wearing the travel sizes more than the full sizes. So it's all, do what works for you, but, don't feel pressured by what you see other people doing. That's all I have to say about that. Next up, I've got this one is the Viva La Juicy Sucre, which again, this is a travel size, but I did go ahead and buy the full size of this one not too long after I purchased this travel size because I loved the scent. It is a sweet candy-ish scent. I do enjoy this one. I don't think there's a dupe that exists for this one, but it layers so well with different scents in my body care collection. So I think it layered well with, if I wanted to wear, anything with pistachio. I think I even have like the Gingham Gorgeous empty in here from Bath and Body Works. It pairs great. My only gripe with this scent and also with some of the other Juicy Couture fragrances is that it does not last long, even if you overspray. And so, it's one of those like buyer beware things that, at least for me, and I know our body chemistry is also so different that what may last forever on me may not last forever on someone else. Not forever, but for a work day, we'll say that. My experience has been that while I love this scent, I would say for the longevity, I would probably buy this again, but probably the full size bottle, I just go with that knowing that I do enjoy it, but I would probably maybe decant a little bit into a smaller one. Or if I can even refill this one, honestly, because I think, the top screws off and, just carry this with me to kind of refresh throughout the day if I'm out of the house. And I still want to make sure that I can still have my little scent bubble. So, but yeah, that's Viva La Juicy Sucre. The other one I have here is Valentino Donna Born in Roma. This one was, some people usually say like, this is another vanilla scent. This leans more heavily floral to me. And this one, I've had this probably for 3 years. I think the last time I wore I can kind of think of like a handful of times I have worn this. And I think the last time I really got a big wear out of it was maybe the second to last time. It was for my husband and I went out for our wedding anniversary. And I paired it with another product I had in a previous Empties video that Brown Sugar Babe had. It was the corresponding body oil to this scent. I like it, but is it one that I'm always going to be excited to wear and gravitate towards? I think, honestly, I ran out of this because I just wanted to use it up and just get the bottle out of my collection. I like it, but it's not one where it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like the best thing ever. It's, you know, opinions are going to vary. How I feel about it is not how you'll feel about it. For me, I don't think I'll get this one again. And if I do decide to get it again, I mean, I'd probably put it on my maybe list. So that way it's there. I can always go to the store, smell it, remind myself if I do like it or not. And again, if I get a wild hair and decide to buy it again, I'll just get the travel size. All right. Next up is another scent that this one for sure I would not buy again. And I wanted to use it up because, again, I didn't dislike it. I didn't think it was terrible. It just, when I first smelled it and purchased it to, again, this is another one I've had probably about maybe 4 or 5 years actually. This one is Daisy by Marc Jacobs. Again, another travel size. This one is a nice, to me, spring summer scent, but it was one that took me a minute to use up and it just didn't appeal to me. So I'm glad I only bought this small size, but it was still like pulling teeth to get me to use this one up. And so, this one, well, it's on my no list. I wouldn't buy it again. Again, didn't smell terrible, didn't dislike it, but it just wasn't one that I would be excited to pick up and wear. I usually would reach for something else before I decide to wear this, but I wanted to, again, use it up because it was there. As I'm trying to kind of somewhat whittle down what I have in my collection. Yeah, just trying to do that. This next one is by Dawkins Aroma Company. And this is another, actually, this is another dupe. And I think this one is not, yeah, well, this one is a dupe, but it's not of a Kayali scent. This one is the dupe for Commodity Milk. And this is a creme de la sol, and it's an extrait perfume. So it just means it's kind of got a higher concentration of oil in it. So, which also means that great for skin, or at least for me, I recommend your skin, but if you're spraying it on clothes, again, you have to make sure you're spraying it carefully so it does not stain. I love this one. I do have the travel size of the Commodity Milk Bold and Expressive. And I would say one other recommendation is, I bought the full, and I have the full size bottle of this one specifically. And so I use them both together. So both the actual brand and the dupe, because I can put the dupe on my skin and then I can actually spray the brand version on my clothes and not worry about it and still have that lasting effect. Brown Sugar Babe also makes Milky Way. It's the corresponding body oil to this scent. So I like this. I have the full bottle right now. It's the 1.7 ounce. I'm just enjoying wearing it. I'm not going to probably rush through that one. That is pretty much for me a fall, winter, late winter fragrance that I do enjoy. Very warm, marshmallowy, a little chocolatey somewhat. But it's just, it's a deep but yet fluffy scent that I enjoy. And I do like the Dawkins Aroma Company brand as well. That is a smaller company that, again, that's another thing I like to do for 2026 is just a lot of the smaller perfume companies that are out there doing their thing. I'd rather put my dollars towards them than, again, some of these larger billion-dollar companies that, again, they don't really care about us. So, but yeah, so this one I would buy again, or at least keep it on my to buy again list once I run out. And if I decide that, again, I do miss having it in my collection and I finish up that 1.7 ounce bottle, I would get it again. But in the meantime, again, I always recommend the travel size if in doubt. All right, we've got another Juicy Couture fragrance here. I think this is Juicy Couture, Viva La Juicy Gold Couture. This is a very like caramel scented fragrance. Again, also pairs well with, I want to say I've either with like your Sol de Janeiro, the yellow Boom Boom Cream. There's also the other, oh gosh, I can't even think of the name of it right now because I don't have it in front of me, but there's some other scents, like those similar scents of like the, I think is a Sol de Janeiro 71, just like the pistachio scents is what this pairs well with, is what I'm trying to say. I love this scent, and usually when I've purchased this, I have another one of this that's open. It's a 1 ounce that I have. This is a 1 ounce size, and I have another 1 ounce size. And I think I might have a 1 ounce backup bottle, simply because these were on clearance at Marshall's. And so I bought one and I went back and they still had like 2 more, and I liked it enough to keep wearing it. But again, like I said, for the other previous fragrance, the Viva La Juicy Sucre, the longevity to me is not the best. So again, having to do a lot of this layering with the accompanying body care scents, any of like body oils, things like that, is usually what helps me get the longevity from this. But because I have another 1 ounce that's open and I have another 1 ounce that's on backup because I found it on clearance and I couldn't resist, I'm good on buying any more of this. I wouldn't get any more backup bottles for this one. And once I go through it, I could possibly see buying it again, but it's not one that, you know, I would rush out to get. And then this one is the Choco Musk. This is a popular one. I think I got this on Amazon. It's another one of the Middle Eastern fragrances. I can tell you, I ran out of this again, I want to say maybe 3-4 months ago, but the chocolate scent seems to be even stronger. And so one thing with some of the lower price Middle Eastern scents is that, you know, the longer it macerates, the stronger it gets over time, because I know there's some people that have said, like, you know, a lot of more expensive fragrances, I think the maceration process is already part of the prep process, but then sometimes based on how fast these are cranked out, you order it, you get it home, you spray it to let some air in and let it macerate on its own. You get that part in exchange for the lower price. You have to do that part, I guess, in exchange for a lower price. But I have a backup bottle of this one already. I like this one. It still is a little light. And again, for the price point, I think right now it's probably maybe still under $10 or around that $10 mark, between 10 to 12, we'll say that. But I am having the hardest time trying to find, I really would like to have another chocolate scent, which I know there's the one I mentioned before, the Creme de la Sol, that has some chocolatey notes to it. But I'm looking for like a milk chocolate scent. And for all the other ones I've been trying to buy that I've purchased or have smelled, they don't have that milk chocolate scent, or if they do, they don't last long like this one. And so I usually have to do a ton of different layering. And so the backup bottle I have, I'll give it another chance, wear it. But would I buy it again? If I can find something else to replace this that has the longevity, then I would go that route versus buying this again. But it is a popular favorite amongst, a lot of the other perfume girlies, peeps. But for me, there's so many other scents out there that I just want to get my nose on before I commit to one. But it is a cost-effective one that I would recommend it if you were looking for something that, again, you don't want to break the bank. You're fine reapplying through the day. This one still works. And then I've got, let's see, let me finish the perfumes before I go into the oils and the body sprays. This one is Philosophy's Fresh Cream. This is another one that, again, I think I got this for like $11 at Marshall's. It actually might have been $10. And this is like a half ounce. Yeah, 15 mil. And so when I get this one again, this was like a layering one, because I think I even maybe layered these two together. It's very, very light to my nose. And so if you like light scents, if you're looking for something sweet to wear to the workplace, because, you still want to smell nice, but you don't want anything that's, going to irritate any of your coworkers. If some of your coworkers have any, scent sensitivities, this is a skin scent to me. And it also is good for layering. But would I buy it again? No. I'm just glad I purchased this size to at least be able to try it out, really give it a good run, try it on its own, try it layering it with other scents. But it was all right. I didn't love it enough to say that I want to go out and buy it again. And then for the overall And all of these, I should say, are also Eau de Parfums, or there's like the one for Dawkins Aroma Company that was an extrait. But this is also another Eau de P. And this is, I think, Billie Eilish #1, I think. Yeah, just Billie. Yeah, I think it's Billie Eilish. This one I like. And this one also has a little bit of a chocolate-esque scent to it, but a very deep vanilla. And this one, I would say there's the Latafa Nebras as well. That is a dupe to this. I have that as well. And right now I could go either way to where, and I will say I have another bottle of this as a backup that I bought a couple years ago from Ulta because it was on a crazy sale. I think it was a 3.4 ounce for like under $40. So I went ahead, bought that. But it took me a minute to get through this one, which is a 1.7 ounce. And so right now, if I was out of this and I was out of Nebras, I would probably buy this one again. Because I think I do like the Nebras has a little bit of a, the scents aren't apples to apples. So I liked this one better. Once I go through the other 3.4 ounce one I have, I mean, I could probably see buying it again, but I may also change my mind in the midst of going through that other one. So, but this one, yeah, if I didn't have that backup bottle, I'd get this one again. All right. And then next up, I've got the Vanilla Musk Fragrance Oil from Nemat. This one I love. I love layering this under some of my other scents. You know, I put on my pulse points, you know, on my, inside my wrists, elbows, you know, behind my knees, ankles. It's a very light, well, I wouldn't say super light, but it's kind of like a, I know for some musk scents can be very, they can be very just, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, very intense maybe. But this one is perfect for just layering, wearing on its own. Again, if you are in a workplace or, you know, you're in a classroom, but you know, you can't wear anything that's super strong. This is a nice alternative. I like this. I would buy this again. The Nemat line also has the, I think they're EDPs. And I got this at Ulta. And I have smelled the actual Vanilla Musk perfume, but I think I like the oil better. So I would say, you know, go to Ulta if you're interested, try it. They also have a rollerball version of this, but I would buy this one again. And then the last 3 items that I have are my body sprays. So I've got 2 from Bath and Body Works. I've got the Ice Lemon Pound Cake, and then I've got the Gingham Gorgeous. I like these both. And I know for sure Gingham Gorgeous is still being sold. I don't know if Ice Lemon Pound Cake is, or if it'll come back for another semi-annual sale, if it'll come back for the spring with Bath and Body Works. But I would buy both of these again. Lemon Pound Cake is just, as the name says, it's like a sweet, gourmandy, lemony scent. Truly like a sweet, not like a lemon pledge or a citrusy one, but truly like a lemon pound cake with frosting. All this is. I would buy this again. And this one, Gingham Gorgeous, is like a floral, vanilla, jasmine. I will say that for the fragrance mists, as they're known, I am trying to move away from buying fragrance mists because for me, they don't last. Again, other people, they can get the mileage from them. They last, or they're fine with respraying throughout the day. I'd say always do what works for you. But for me, if I do feel so inclined to buy any of the Bath and Body Works body mists, I would only get the travel size. So once I run out of these, if they come back, I could probably see getting them again. But again, it's not anything I'd be in a rush to buy. And then the last one I have is a Sol de Janeiro Cheirosa 59. I do like this one. But again, I would probably stick with, I have the body cream for this one. And then I also still have it's the shower oil that I have not opened yet, but I want to try for this. So for me, I would rather just layer the scents. I could probably see maybe buying a small size of this one again as well. Not the full size, but Mimic actually has I think it's 95. They have the perfume version for this. It's their EDP. that I have. So once I end up, when I'm ready to go ahead and open up the other body cream version that I have for this and the shower oil, I am going to try the Mimic version of the fragrance and wear that and layer it. And so, so instead of probably going this route, I just wear the EDP for the Mimic one, which I found that Mimic I ended up buying, I maybe purchased 2 bottles that they had at Marshall's. I have not seen them on the Mimic website. I don't know if they might still be out there, but Mimic's kind of weird where they'll have things available, then they won't have them available, or you'll be able to find them at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and other times you won't even be able, they don't have anything. So I'm not sure what their method is for when it comes to releasing them to Marshall's and when they release them online. But all I have to say is that, again, I would go the EDP route before I possibly get another one of these. But the thing with this is, in any of these other fragrances that I just talked about, some may go away, and if they do, that's all right. But more likely than not, you'll be able to buy a majority of these. So I would say if you have that interest, and for anything that if you may have this already, don't feel compelled to rush out and buy a new one. Make sure you love it enough to either want to bring it back with you or repurchase it again. And if not, let it go. And there's so many other fun products out there to try, to think about before you buy them. Just enjoy it. And I think don't feel the need to rush out to buy something just because you're worried that it's going to sell out. There's always going to be other opportunities that capitalism will make available to continue to take your money. So that is it for the fragrance part of my empties. Let me know in the comments if you have any of these, that you've tried them. What are your goals for this year in terms of empties? Are you trying to kind of do a lot of project pan, or project panning, however you say it? Or are you just looking to enjoy what you have, not rush through it, but not add to your collection, or you're looking to add to it? In the meantime, always trust your nose. Don't worry about what's trending. Go with what you like, explore, have fun, smell all the things, but just think about it before you buy. But until next time, I will see you later.